Hey, everybody, welcome to the show. I am your host, your expert life strategist, Karena Calhoun. I'm super excited today. We have a very, very special, I don't want to say guest. I don't really want to say guest anymore. We have a new family member
Mm,
that we're introducing you to today. I like
yes,
that.
I like
I like
that.
that because we are a family that we all are going to be great. We're
That's right.
going on the road to being great.
That's right.
So, yeah, I love it. Sharika, how are you doing today?
I am doing awesome, and I love the family member vibe. It's so welcoming, and so thank you very much. Glad to be here.
Absolutely. I am so thrilled to be chatting with you today. Sharika, tell us where in the world you are.
I am in Atlanta, Georgia, Hotlanta, ATL, whatever reference is known to others.
I love it. I absolutely love it. I have actually, my baby brother is in Atlanta. He's been there for some years now. So, hey, Brian, just a shout out to
Hey,
him.
Mariah.
Thank you. So, Sharika, tell us how you are loving on the world around you these days. First, before you start that though,
Okay.
I just want to I just want to draw attention to the sign over your shoulder. I can't see all of it, but I can see part of it this. Oh, I love it. I am uniquely and authentically free. Oh, honey,
I am
honey.
uniquely me, authentically free. I own my power.
We're gonna have to talk about that. Go ahead and
Yes.
tell us how you are loving on the world around you. I have a feeling, a sneaking suspicion that that has something to do with it, but let's get into this conversation.
That is the best segue. It is the best segue,
Oh my goodness.
honestly. Learning to love on me, I am passing that on to others. So I am a career advancement coach. I have been in the world of accounting for over 15 years. And after working in corporate for so long, and I received quite a few promotions and all the work and honestly the money and bonuses that came along with it. But I also learned to be seen and not heard, and that just be glad you're in the room and not really being able to use my voice. But I was a leader and I had team members who looked up to me and who was always, glad that I could help them, whatever it is that they were trying to do, whether with my team or in the company or outside. And I realized that that was not only my passion, but in order for me to really make an impact for these people, I needed to start practicing what I preach. And so I had to start speaking up for me and us. I had to make sure that everyone knew that I was in the room. And I had to make sure that all of those things that I was telling them about growing to their next level, that I was also doing in my life. And so after I learned that in On My Power, I was like, wait a minute, why am I still here in this when I could be spreading more of me and doing what I really love and what I have learned is my true passion out in the world. So I am a career advancement coach. I help professionals grow to the next level in their careers by understanding and overcoming what it is that's limiting them. And it definitely starts right there.
I'm going to be very, very honest with you. When you said, you were making the money, the bonuses, things of that nature, and you had to learn how to be seen and not heard, I literally got chills. I
Mm-hmm.
got chills because we teach our children that at a
Yes,
young age. You're running departments, you're not a child.
that's
You
right.
should never, in your career, business, whatever the case may be, as a big age adult,
Right, right.
you should never
Fully
be,
grown.
yeah, there should never be a situation where you're seen and not heard. And for
Yes.
you to be in that situation, I just want to also say, Sharika, that this entire conversation, I can see already that I'm going to resonate with because that was me when I was in corporate America. I
Mm-hmm.
was in the mortgage industry and much like you, I climbed the corporate ladder. I got the bonuses, I got the pay, but
Mm-hmm.
it was still that whole thing of being thankful that you're in the room. I
Yes.
caught that too.
Yes. Yes.
Hey, listen, I was the little Black girl that did not have a college degree, the only Black girl amongst a room full of Caucasian men who went to
Yes.
very prominent schools. So this
Yes.
conversation is going to be a banger. I can see it already. And so I want to ask you, I know you said things began to just really, you began to see things that, especially the not being seen, but being not being heard, being seen thing.
Mm-hmm.
But what really was the hammer that dropped where you said, you know what, this is not going to do it? Because I love how you said you had to stop really doing this so that you could actually do what you were preaching. Say,
Mm-hmm.
if
Mm-hmm.
you're preaching it, you
Mm-hmm.
gotta see it. So
That's right.
what was that hammer that dropped for you?
Honestly, it was a few different things that happened last year because I left corporate at the end of last year. There were a few different things that happened last year in my personal life that were like back to back to back. And like I started getting really sick. And I've never been a person that had issues with my health. And it was like, honestly, it scared me because I'm like, what is going on with my body? And one thing is listen to your bodies. Your body is always going to tell you. And I would spend nights and nights after night, sometimes up all night working, get up, go take a shower and go back in the office or get back online, like giving them all of my attention and all of my everything. Like, oh, I need to do this for the company, like I'm some kind of first responder for accounting or something. And just, I was always available for them. And I started to get sick and it was just like, okay, so you're going to be back on after your appointment though, right? Kind of
Yeah.
thing. Or I had a very unexpected death in a family for someone that was really close to the family. They still needed to call me for some reason. I was like, just give me today. Still needed a
Mm.
call. And it was just a few different things happening back to back. And I'm like, what is going on? Like, something has to change. And I'm glad that it took those things happening the way that they happened and back to back to back like that, because otherwise I would have just been like, you know what, it's life, figure it out and keep moving. But I needed a minute and I couldn't even get that breath. And I'm like, I'm always here for the company. I'm always here for whatever they need, whenever they need it, sacrificing my time with my family and, my personal time and my vacations, working vacations and all of that for them. And I need like a day or I need a few hours and I can't have that. And so it was like, okay, something has to change and it needs to change now. And so I'm like, but what is it? I can't go to another job because it's the same. I'm seeing a pattern. And the first thing for me, I had to realize the role that I played in that. And that was uh, one of the things that really said, okay, are you really speaking your truth? Are you really saying the things that need to be said? Are you saying no? Or it's a powerful word. Just say no, you know, put those boundaries in place. It was really that part. But then even after that, it was okay, they're still not changing. And that's when I was like, okay, this isn't for me anymore. And it was my team I always got, the encouragement of, they didn't realize it, but when they would say, thank you for helping me with this, or I was able to get this done. And just all of the love, honestly, that I used to get from them from different things that I helped them with. And it was just because I wanted them to be great,
Mm.
that I was like, okay, I love this. This is what I want to do. This is where I want to be. This is what I want to develop in. And especially after having gone through what I've gone through the last 15 years, oh, I can definitely help get you to where you need to be and not get stuck in that place that I was in for so long.
I'm almost like speechless only because so much of what you're saying is absolutely the truth of so many different people.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of times people are silent about this. So I want to sprinkle in a little bit of things that I've experienced, not to take the shine away from you, because as we spoke prior to you coming on, this is your spotlight. But the reason why I want to sprinkle some of the things that I've gone through that relate to what you're saying is because I want people that are listening to get an idea that this happens more often than we think. And I need for the listeners to understand the importance of getting in touch with you
Mhm.
after this episode airs, because again, it happens more often than we think, and it comes in so many different ways. I want to give examples, because sometimes until you can say that happened to me, maybe
Mhm.
I should get in touch with Sherrika
Mhm.
or something similar to that, because as people are listening, sometimes they'll say, oh, well, that never happened to me. Well, what if something similar,
Yes.
something close?
Yes.
Because I believe, Sherrika, that the work that you're doing is so imperative that it is going to save somebody's life. And I don't say that lightly. The fact that, and I didn't know this was going to be a heavy conversation. It's
Mhm.
heavy, but it's just one of those things we
It's
have to
needed.
talk about this. And I
Mhm.
want to give you all case in point. I don't necessarily know how true this is. I haven't fact checked it, but we all know that Jamie Foxx has experienced some type of
Mhm.
um, serious illness. But
Mhm.
what they have said is that before he even really got to the point where they announced that he was sick, they had replaced him
Mhm.
in a project that
Yes.
he was working on. This is Jamie Foxx.
Yes.
You mean to tell me you couldn't pause it?
Right. Right.
So, case in point, the show is going to go on with or without you.
Yes.
So, if you're sick, they're still going to fill your seat.
Mhm. Mhm.
It is
Mhm.
absolutely going to happen. I remember my mother was in the hospital, and I got a phone call while she's in the hospital. She was new to the city, had just moved here to Virginia from North Carolina, and they called me. And I'm thinking, are you kidding me? She was in
Yes.
ICU. Are you
Yes.
kidding me?
Yes.
So I want you to understand these examples that we are providing to you is the reason why you need to get in touch with Sherrika,
Yes.
because you can't level up your career with the
Mhm.
same information you've been using for the last 10 years.
Mhm. Mhm.
It's
And it's
just not
not
going to
always
work.
obvious either. It's not
Exactly.
always
Talk about
obvious.
that.
You don't always, sometimes, because early on I used to think, oh, they really like me. They're really trying to help me. Uh, I remember one of the promotions that I received, our CFO told, at the time I was an accounting manager, and once we had a new CFO, and once he found out how much I made, he said, "Oh, Sherrika is grossly underpaid," and I was like, "Okay." I knew promotions were coming up, so I was excited, and so they presented me with the promotion and my pay, and the uh, person that I reported to directly said, "Well, he just told me to get you to six figures." And I said, "So you just gave me the bare minimum?" Like,
Right.
because I was already close to that anyway. So you really didn't move the needle any. And I think that was one of those moments where I think they would just be like, "Oh, she's gonna appreciate it because we're doing this for her." But I work for this. You're
Mm,
not doing me any favors. You're not doing me a favor when you give me a bonus that's based on a metric that I met. That means
mm,
I earned it. I worked for that. And you're not doing me a favor when I get a promotion, which also comes with additional responsibilities. So again, I'm working for that. And in most cases, you've already done the work before the promotion comes. So it's not like, well, we're still trying to see how this is going to work kind of thing. They already know. And one of the things I always say is that I didn't know my worth. And they
Mm-hmm.
knew I didn't know it. And so they took advantage of that. And I remember years ago when I had my first child, I ended up getting preeclampsia. And I had been working out, we had all these projects coming up, and I'm like, let me just try to get these things done. We used to acquire a lot of companies, and I would go in and clean them up and get them right and set up in our system so we could, bill them in revenue and all of these other things. And so I was working a lot, which I'm sure helped to get me to that point, honestly. And when I realized that I was not going to leave the hospital that day, I called the director that I reported to, and I left him a 20-minute voicemail. Look, I want to give you clear instructions on this. There's this, project, and this is exactly where we are. All of these things. I was in the hospital for 5 days. They called me 4 of those 5 days. Like,
Mm-hmm.
and everything they asked was already in that message that I left. And it was, some of it was so menial and simple, like, you didn't even have to call me for this. And then
Mm-hmm.
after my daughter was born, she was born 2 months early. They called and said, well, since you're not doing anything, can't you just work? And then when she comes home, you can take, like, they're doing me a favor. And then when she comes home, you can start your maternity leave. So it's kind of like we're giving you a break now, because you could just work from home, and then you have extra time to spend with her. And I was still stuck on the, since I'm not doing anything. Like, are you, my child is in the NICU and incubator and all the things, and you said, since I'm not doing anything. So it's things like that and I think that's when things first started to click. And just slowly over the years, my eyes became open more and more and more. But your life will make you adjust as well. Because once upon a time, I didn't understand the struggle that different people go through who are either married or have families, because I didn't have any of that. And so I think you also tend to look at things a little bit differently depending on where you are versus other people. So I'm glad that my transition to management and some of those things came a little bit later after that point for me, to help me become an even better leader for my team and being able to work with them. Because people don't, nobody is trying to get over. They're not trying to take advantage. No, they don't mind helping. People don't mind working. I would have people say, Sherrika, what do you need? You want us to stay? Like, no, I want you to be able to go home. I had one manager tell me, I need you to get a group of young people in here with no family so you can go home to yours
Mm-hmm.
and let them do it.
Mm.
And honestly, when I first heard it, I was like, yeah, that makes sense. But I'm like, wait, it's not fair for them either. So now they are
Mm-hmm.
penalized because they don't have the families. And so they have to stay, they're expected to stay at the long hours and give up their weekends and all of that because they don't have priorities that you feel are important. So it's definitely, I really want people to understand and be able to see that, listen to what they're saying. And is what they're saying really benefiting you or them?
You know,
Because they'll find a way. Yes.
I want a dramatic pause just for a second,
Mhm.
simply because I want people to soak this in. I want you to listen to everything that Sharika has said and compare it to your career in the company that you're currently working for. Has anything even remotely close ever happened to you? And if it has, just take a second and think about it. If it has, Sharika, I want you to tell us how we can get in touch with you. Because this, listen, unfortunately, Black women are the ones that experience this absolutely the most
Yes.
out of any other group on this earth. So, dramatic pause. Think about this. Listeners, think about this for a second. How has this shown up in your career?
Mm-hmm.
Where has this shown up in your career? We don't even care about why it's shown up in your
Right.
career,
Right.
but where and how has this shown up? Sherrika, give us your contact information because we need to be running. You
Yes.
know, on social media, you see folks, they have posts and that people will comment and say, I had to run to the comments to see this and to see that. I need you to run to the phone, run to your laptop, run to whatever device you need, and I need you to reach out to Sherrika ASAP.
Yes, absolutely. I really want to help. I I really want honestly to make an impact. I want someone to see like, I want people's eyes to be open. I have a website. My website is called Transform the Gap, and that's GAAP.com. So I'm available or can be reached through my website, transformthegap.com. I am on LinkedIn, Sherrika, Sherrika, Sherrika Sanders, MBA on LinkedIn, as well as through Instagram. And I'm Sherrika, Career Advancement Coach. So, any of those mediums, please definitely feel free to reach out. I want to help. I really do. And, let's at least have that initial conversation and talk about where we are or where you are and what you need. And I'll do whatever I can to help get you to that next level.
Now, Sherrika, tell us what Transform the Gap, GAAP, what does GAAP stand for?
So thank you for asking that. So because my background is in accounting, GAAP is actually an accounting term. It's an acronym for accounting generally accepted accounting principles. And my business, goals assign achieving purpose. So that's why transform the gap, and gap is goals assign achieving purpose, because I really want just to be clear, let me put this out. Have to be willing to do the work. I
Yep.
will do everything I can to help you, but you have to be ready for a change, because it's going to require you to step out of your comfort zone. It's going to step out of you to move. Your voice can be shaken, your legs when you take that step. I get it, but you have to be ready to step out of your comfort zone to truly become who you were created to be. Because I guarantee you, if you're in this situation right now, you are not living in your truth. You are
Mhm.
not living in your purpose, and you are not living as the person you were created to be.
Mhm.
So I definitely want to make that clear. We can do this.
And I also want to highlight those of you that are experiencing, if you work, say, for instance, most of you in a career, 9 to 5, corporate America, although we do have folks that are international. But
Mhm,
if you're in a corporate setting, you work Monday through Friday, 8 to 5, 9 to 5, whatever the case may be. Friday, you're happy go lucky, you're ready to go, everything is great. It's Friday evening, you're off work. Saturday, you're enjoying the day. Sunday, you prepare for the coming week, and then your mood changes.
yes,
Depression begins to set in.
yes,
All types of things are going on in your body, these feelings of sadness and anxiety and just all these different things are setting in on Sunday evening. That means you need a change.
yes, yes, absolutely.
And more people experience that than they're willing to admit.
And
That
I
means, yeah, that means you need a change. That means you need to reach out to Sherrika because, again, this is more prevalent than we speak about, and we have to bring it to the forefront.
mhm,
Again, Black women are truly, truly underserved in this arena. It is something that Black women deal with. And I will give you another real life example. I remember the last company that I was working for in corporate America in leadership, I received a $20,000 bonus. That's great. That's wonderful. Yay, whoop-de-doo. But then
mhm,
the next here they go. I'm in an assistant vice president position. Okay. But yeah, and it was a mom and pop company. But then the next year, they bring in a manager. Now I'm an assistant vice president, but they bring in a manager who I they accidentally sent her paperwork to me because
Mm.
theoretically I was supposed to be over her.
Yes.
She
Yes.
actually made more money than me. Guess what? She was a
Wow.
Caucasian lady,
Wow.
but she made more money than me.
But and I know we have to wrap up.
No,
I
no,
know you
no,
want.
this is good. This is good. Listen, this is why, listen.
I, I had a very similar situation. I worked in a group where most of the people I managed were friends to the guy that I reported to. So he made sure that he took care of them, as he called it, when they came in. And there was one guy where he came in, he really liked this guy. And the guy said, you know what? I don't like the guy came in reporting to me. And I think that was the issue. He was a Caucasian male and he was older than me. And he turned in his notice and he's like, I really want him to stay. I'm going to find another role for him, and gave him $30,000 increase for a
Mm,
role he made up. So because life works the way that it does, the role never materialized and he had to come back to reporting to me. And his thing was, well, he gave me that increase, but I was told I would get even more money. And so he was like, yep, he's right. I do owe him more. Still, what have we haven't accomplished anything. Nothing. As a matter of fact, not doing that well in the role that he was in.
mm.
Yeah, I did tell him that. And so I'll give him, I think he may want to give him, I don't know, another 20,000 or so. And I said, wait a minute, hold on. He was like, no, no, no. Wait, where are you right now? You give him that, and we'll be in the same place as far as our salary.
Mm.
So I guess I'm gonna have to give you more too, huh? Thank you. Is that
That's
can
what
we
we
put
doing here.
yeah, can we put some metrics to it? Can we validate it? Can you just say no because he hasn't done anything to earn the first that you gave him? And now you're giving him even more. And I'm supposed to be grateful because you said, oh, okay, I guess I'll give you some more too, so I can keep validating this nonsense that's happening on the
Mm.
other side.
Listen, I want y'all to understand we're not bashing anyone. We're
Right,
bringing the truth to the forefront.
right.
Because if you have a sneaking suspicion that something like this is going on in the company that you're in, it probably is.
Mm-hmm.
It probably is. Because in the situation with mine, had I not gotten that packet by
Mm-hmm.
accident,
Mm-hmm.
I suspected it, but I never would have been able to prove it.
Mm-hmm.
But then to seemingly pacify me with a $20,000 bonus was nothing.
Mm-mm. Mm-mm.
And to say, I'm going to bump yours up because no, no, no. This is not how that works.
Mm-mm. Not at all. Not at all. And that one
Because
only
there's
happened
going,
because I was in the room. Had I not been
exactly.
there, same
And
scenario.
that's what I was going to say. Best believe that it's going to happen with someone else and you're not going to know about it.
Yep. Yep.
And so you'll still be right where you are. I've
Mm-hmm.
seen people come in right off the street, just graduated from college, have not a lick of experience, and literally be groomed.
Yes.
I mean, shadowing managers.
Yes.
And within 6 months, they are now a manager,
Mm-hmm.
but have literally 6 months experience in the industry, period. And I'm saying, but when did y'all post that opening?
Right. Right. Right.
Not that I wanted it, but when did y'all post it for those that have been here for 10
Mm-hmm.
years?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And
Yes.
again, not bashing, but when I've seen this transpire, it has always been Caucasian, young Caucasian men
Yes.
or Caucasian women,
Yes. Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
period.
Absolutely.
So if you have a sneaking suspicion that something like this is happening, you need to get your power. You need to own your power. As Sherrika's sign in the back says,
That's right.
once you own your power, no one can give you anything.
That's
It's
right.
not a matter of someone giving you a raise or someone giving you, it is you owning your power instead of being blinded by
Mm-hmm.
glitz and glamour of being in the room.
Mm-hmm.
You walk in knowing that you are required to be in that room,
Yes.
that that company is not going to grow in the way that it should if you're not in the room.
Without you. Absolutely. 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 And learning how to use it. It's not, I want to be clear, it's not going in and, I own my, you could, I'm all about maintaining your professionalism.
That's
I
right.
don't burn bridges. I'm
That's
not
right.
being disrespectful,
That's
but
right.
I am speaking up for myself. And that's what I want others to be able to do. It's not about who can be the loudest in the room. It's not about going in, making a show, but maintaining your professionalism and just stating the facts. Look, this is where I am. These are all of the projects that I was able to complete. This is where we are because of me, and this is what I'm asking for. And
And
it's
when they
it's really
tell
that
you,
simple.
right, and when they tell you we don't have it in the budget, yeah, you do.
You do, always. Yeah, you can find it.
And what Sharika is saying, not being loud. Listen, this is not a ding against Black women because we know we are very passionate about what we believe and what we know, what we believe we know, and what we know we know.
Mm-hmm.
We're
Mm-hmm.
extremely passionate.
Yes.
Okay. My husband tells me all the time, I can be talking about some chicken wings. I can be talking about some nail polish. I could be
Mm-hmm.
talking about the sun. I get loud.
Yes.
And he'll say, "Why are you so loud?" First off,
Yes.
I'm country, okay? I come from country in North Carolina. I'm a country girl, so I get loud.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh. Georgia through and through, yes.
And so we understand that we become very impassionate about what we're talking about, what we're the conversations that we're in and the situations that we're in. And so it's not necessarily, I want to be very clear. It's like Sharika said, it's not about being seen and not heard, but it's also not about being loud and proud. And
Mm-hmm.
it's not about a fine line between anything. It
Mm-hmm.
is literally owning your power.
Mm-hmm.
And when you own your power, you're not to the left, you're not to the right, you're not even on that fine line.
Right.
You are where you are um, designed to be, where you're purposed to be. You have created the lane that you now flow in. And that's
Mm-hmm.
it in a nutshell.
Mm-hmm.
So, Sharika, listen, you all know I can get long winded in some of these conversations. They can get so good. But this one, I feel deep down in my heart, needed a little bit more from both of us so that you can see yourself in this. Because I just find it extremely ironic that we've experienced some of the same things. And I feel like both of us speaking on this gives everyone listening, you now have an opportunity to evaluate your career, evaluate the happenings and goings on within your career and say, is this happening to me?
Yes.
Because truth be told, I'm going to say this, Sharika went through what she went through and has experienced that and now has started her business And this is the purpose. This
Mm-hmm.
is her purpose.
Mm-hmm.
This is the vision that has been placed on this earth for her. And so when you're in that purpose, when you're in that vision, listen, baby, amazing. Lives are changed.
Mm-hmm. It
And
will
so,
make room for you.
yes, yes. So staying and remaining stuck in a place because they give you crumbs,
Yep.
crumbs.
Yep.
Now, we're not advocating you run up and quit your job
Please
because
don't.
we said that's not what we said. That's not what we telling you. We got an expert right here on this show right here today that can help you facilitate all the necessary moves. And it
Yeah.
may not necessarily be that you quit your job. It just
Exactly.
may be you learn how to navigate it in a more fluent way so that it works better for you.
Yes. That part.
So we have to, I am almost to the point of begging and pleading. Contact Sherrika. Sherrika, any last words of wisdom? Because I can listen. This has been good, honey. This has been good.
I would just say change starts in the mind.
Mm,
And you already know, you feel it here. You already know if we're talking to you. You
mm,
before you even heard this message, you knew something needed to happen. You knew something wasn't right. And when you have that feeling, go with that. It's there for a reason. And it may be time to make a change internally to prepare you for something that's coming wherever you are, or it may be time to make that change internally to get you to your next, which may be somewhere completely different. But whatever that is, I am willing to sit down and explore and get you to where you are supposed to be, because that is where your true happiness resides. That is where you can truly thrive and feel like you're being successful. It's not about how much money you make, it's not about your position. It's about being successful, feeling like you're able to accomplish whatever it is, personally, professionally, that you need to accomplish, feeling like you can take that breath, because we all need to take that breath sometimes, and feeling like, you know what, I can take a week off if I need to, I can take a day off if I need to, and be able to just regroup and get back into it. So whatever it is, that goal, that tugging that you're feeling right now, I need you to answer, to respond to that, to listen to that. Again, my website, Transform the Gap, and Gap is GAAP, transformthegap.com. Sherrika Sanders, Sherrika, Sherrika Sanders, MBA on LinkedIn. And then I'm also on Instagram, Sherrika Career Advancement Coach. So please reach out. I would love to help you.
I love it. I absolutely love it. Folks, you heard the charge. You heard the charge. You have been charged with change. And the
Yes.
change begins with you. It begins on the inside, in the mind. She already said it. The expert has spoken. So I implore you, go reach out to Sherrika. Folks, I will see you all on the flip side. This has been an amazing conversation. Sherrika, you are definitely a part of the family and will probably most likely be seeing you again this year.
Thank you. I would love to. Love to.
Absolutely. Thank you so very much.
I appreciate it.
Bye, everybody.